Careful, Storm. Still Magneto.
Circumstances do not offer us a choice.
Circumstances do not offer us a choice.
I need your men stationed at
Every door.
I want those in the lobby to assist the other X-Men. You Magneto and I will protect the Juggle.
Be careful, Storm. Still Magneto.
Circumstances do not offer us a choice. I need your men stationed
At every door.
I want those in the lobby
To assist the other X-Men.
You, Uncle Magneto, you! Who does she think she is?
Do not think.
Be silent.
Heed my commands, and you shall survive. What's going on, people? I am Wesley from Aconation TV here on YouTube, the one and only channel on the World Wide Web. We actually adopt similar connections despite our differences. And welcome to my channel. Listen, I am like everyone else that is into comics and into the lore of mutants and the Marvel Cinematic Universe and blah, 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 blah. Have been watching X-Men 97, right? And I have mixed feelings about it, okay? And I made a post on Instagram and everybody's like, oh, you need to read the comments. You need to read the comments. I read the comments 85,000 years ago, okay? But I also know that Marvel, Kevin Feige, and whoever else is involved with their little fingers and dealing with these mutants do not always adhere to what happens in the comics. And I, like many other Black, and a lot of us are gay, people that love Storm, okay, are tired of seeing this Omega level mutant, which what she is called in the first episode of this 97 thing, beaten up. You know what I'm saying? In the first episode, she's sitting there with Forge, and then, you know, there's a small blast over here in one of the machines, and she's knocked out by the small low blast. Her and Forge are knocked out, and then Cyclops has to come and save the day over it. Over it. And then there was a scene in episode 2 where she comes through, mistress of the elements. And she walks through, she turns the sand into like glass. And she like has the lightning come through and she sparks it and it creates this huge hurricane or tornado and it sweeps the Sentinels in the air and it's like this huge thing, right? Beautiful, 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 right? Then she gets nerfed. Now listen, I'm not going to talk about specifically what happens in the episodes. Well, this video is going to be all over the place, right? But I want to read this article that talks about the Easter eggs and stuff that's in the show, you know, because I made the post about Storm being nerfed on episode 2. Sorry for spoilers. I'm talking about this is a review. I'm talking about it. We here. Let's discuss. Let's have a dialogue, right? Let's talk about it, right? And so I had an attitude about that, and everyone's like, oh, well, you need to understand what happens in the comics. Okay, well. Clearly, they rearranged this particular situation because this particular situation does not happen in the comics the way that it happened here. So basically, what am I saying? What am I saying is they didn't have to nerf her. They could have came up with a different storyline. There's so many different storylines they could pull and tag from, but it always ends up being Storm is either claustrophobic and she loses her mind and she can't use her powers, or we announce that she's Omega 11 mutant, but she gets knocked out by this small little blast on the side, or she's too powerful and the writers don't know how to write her effectively, so where she doesn't demolish everyone all of the time. So let's just have her nerf her power so we don't have to worry about, you know, storms and all of this stuff that she could do because she could just destroy everything. Tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. At least in this cartoon, they didn't make Storm High Yellowbone. She's not Tisha Campbell flying in the air. You know what I'm saying? At least she's dark skinned. So they got that part right. But in the little segment that I played in the beginning, baby, had me up. Like she was bossing bitches around. Like that's the Storm I know. That's the Storm I grew up on, right? You know what I'm saying? A strong, powerful Black goddess. You know what I'm saying? Even Magneto called her a goddess, and basically, but she is a goddess. And you know, she I wonder if they're going to get into her goddess ancestry and her witchcraft and being a witch and all of that. I wonder if they're going to get into that, because if they're going to make this journey of me watching this 97 without a damn Storm, miss me with all of it. I'm over it. We better figure out where the hell she's going. Did she catch the bus to Cairo? And is she gonna figure she gonna talk to the gods? She's gonna meet Black Panther or something, get her powers back. However they're gonna rearrange it. Yes, I know she gets her powers back, but I'm still tired of seeing her nerfed all the goddamn time. Anyways, let's get into it. I'm really interested about 97, and especially episode 2. Episode 2 was really, really good. How Magneto dragged them people up into outer space and basically said, "Y'all better stop with me and my people." You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna tell me this ain't black. This ain't the black. I understand why there's been rumblings of Magneto being black, and the MCU, because it's so fitting. Could you imagine a world where black people were mutants and they had power? What? Do you think Tulsa would have actually happened? Do you think Jim Crow laws would have happened? Baby, the world would have been rewritten. We would be in Wakanda forever if black people were mutants and had powers. What? But I couldn't help but sit there and watch this whole trial moment when they were talking about it. And then when the executioner came in and wanted to kill the judges, and how Magneto just so cavalierly just laughed at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is some powerful stuff. And cartoons nowadays don't really emulate life like this, the way that X-Men did back in the day. I'm thinking, as I'm talking about it, I'm remembering the iconic scene where Rogue and Storm was in the mall, baby, and they was going after Jubilee, baby. Good stuff. But I want to go over this article, and I want to talk about the episode 2 was my favorite. Even though they played in my face with Storm, episode 2 was my freaking favorite. First of all, can we talk about the animation? I'm gonna start from the beginning. The animation is alright. It's kind of updated, but I would have loved for a whole revamped situation with the animation. I know, nostalgically speaking, everyone's jacking off to it and oh my God, this is amazing. It's so great. You know what I'm saying? But the intro, y'all could have had the intro be all of that, and then we come to a fresh, clean, great animation kind of situation. You know what I'm saying? I think that would have been hot for me. But again, to the nostalgic heads that are jacking off to it, I'm happy for y'all. Okay? First episode was meh. All right? Cyclops is using this beam offensively, dodging stuff and all over the place. I thought that was cool. Storm getting beat up by the blast, could have missed me with that. Rogue coming through, wrecking shop, Beast coming through, jumping in the Sentinel's wrecking shop. I thought that was all good. I liked the action. The action is cool. And quiet as it's kept, loud as it's given, these X-Men get beat up all the time. They really get beat up. I can't wait to see how they gonna handle them in the MCU. But they really get beat up. But that's neither here nor there, because Cyclops got his ass whooped in episode 2. But I really want to talk about the stuff in episode 2, because episode 2 was the most powerful episode thus far, and it was really, really good. Can we get Jubilee to do something? Side note, right? So we're going to start with I'm going to read this article. We're going to go down the list. More credit changes. This time, Magneto's card replaces Xavier's, and we get a look at Asteroid M. In the comics, Executioner's mutant negation gun was built by Forge, a mutant himself who was working for Henry Peter Garrett at the time. See, they're not following the comics. The Morlocks seen here are Callisto, Leech, Abe, Erg, and later Tommy. Genosha, like Asteroid M, was an important location in the original X-Men animated series. I wonder if they're gonna have that island of the Celestial be Genosha in the MCU. I wonder. The green dress and yellow mask Jean is packing or parts of her second Marvel Girl costume. In the comics, Rogue originally debuted in 1980 as part of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants when it was being led by Mystique. It was never a secret to the X-Men, though. Then in the early 90s, she and Magneto had an adventure in the Savage Land where they realized they were attracted to each other but didn't act on it. Okay, this love affair thing with Magneto being able to touch her and nullify her powers and all, like, that's interesting. But Magneto is giving old baby daddy tease, and Rogue is giving she like her men ancient. You know what I'm saying? Like Magneto look a little rough around the cheeks. I would pick LeBeau over Magneto all the time, but you know Rogue can't touch LeBeau. But they made it happen in the comics. I wonder if they're gonna do that. Yeah, you need to read the comics. Y'all reading the comics. The trial of Magneto happened a lot like this in X-Men 200, though it was interrupted by different villains. Executioner got his name from the early 90s X-Men crossover Executioner song, but the main villain of the story was Strife, an evil clone of Cyclops' son, Cable. Nathan Charles Christopher Summers was born in X-Men 201 right after Magneto took over the team. Romita Saloon is a reference to John Romita Sr. and Jr. Romita Sr. John was the longtime artist of... Okay, enough with that. Storm. Let's get to Storm. Storm's big speech here, including her gestures and the way the scene is shot, is a direct reference to Captain America's big moment at the end of Avengers, right down to the first responder saying, "Who does she think she is?" Forge's mutant neutralization gun was first put into action in comics against Rogue, which is not depicted here in the cartoon. They shifted from the comics, with Storm taking the hit for her in X-Men 185, costing her powers. That was immediately followed by the original Life-Death story in X-Men 186, a title that will be used for 2 upcoming episodes of X-Men 97. Morph's transformation in this episode are Lady Deathstrike, Colossus, Psylocke, and Sabretooth. Okay, cool. So, yeah, she got shot by the gun in the comics. Don't mean she need to get shot by the gun in the animated series. Again, stop playing with me. Stop playing with my goddess, okay? Storm is an Omega level mutant and she needs to be treated as such, goddammit. And if y'all need to be a little bit more dynamic when writing her, then y'all need to be a little bit more dynamic with writing her, goddammit. She got nerfed and now she ain't got her powers no more and now she leaves the X-Men. What? What? I'm over it. But outside of that, the storylines was great. And I'm just hoping that we get some more interesting storylines. Magneto is a riveting character in this iteration of the cartoon series. I'm enjoying it. I really am. And I want to see a little bit more Jubilee in this. But yeah, Magneto, that was a powerful scene. And everything that he said in Magneto was just from a black man, period. And, you know, Magneto takes them out into outer space and could drop them, could kill them, could shoot them further into the abyss of outer space. But he doesn't. That is power. You know what I'm saying? Like that right there. And bitch, if a black man... What are we talking about here? Listen, I am a uber fan of all things mutant, okay? I grew up watching the X-Men, and my favorites, the Trinity, were always Storm first, Rogue second, and Jean third. We need a Trinity film of those 3. F the Marvels. If you gave us a Trinity film of Rogue, Storm, and Jean... What? Nobody is stopping them. Nobody in real life or in that fantasy world is stopping the 3 of them. No one from the DCU, no one from outside of the Marvel. No one is stopping the Trinity. That's the Trinity right there. That's the Trinity right there. You put Rogue, Storm, and Jean Grey up against Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. They getting murked. They getting murked. DC is getting murked. Period. Murked. Anyways, leave your comments below. Let me know who y'all think will win in the battle between Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and Storm, Rogue, and Jean Grey. And I'm not talking about the nerfed versions of the 3 Trinity women. I'm talking about them at their peak. DCU is getting smashed, washed. It's over for them. Anyways, leave your comments below. Deuces.